You are watching Xirtus.
Okay, how video game graphics lost their magic. Yeah, it's sad, dude. Video games were like so good in 2013. Now they're delaying Grand Theft Auto until May 2026, a year from now, bro.
There's many videos about this now, and also there has been this uproar with modern graphics technologies. Also, Unreal Engine basically necessitating blurriness and so on. Some people asking if their eyesight is turning bad, but no, it's actually how the graphics are created.
Yeah.
And I think, yeah, this is, I believe, the
It's
video,
not
which
it's not
is,
Unreal Engine's fault. It's just like people suck now. People suck at optimization. Nobody cares to do optimization. They keep thinking that these like software uh saves that exist, like for instance, upscaling and things like that. Those things are very practical if there's nothing else that you can do. But you shouldn't make that your reliant like show pony. You shouldn't use that as your optimization. That's not optimization. That's like a save. That's something you do afterwards. You're like, oh, and here's something we can do to make it better. And you look at these games now, and nobody cares to do the optimization. So there's these huge files. They look like crap, and then they just say, "Oh, well, just put some ray tracing on it." It's like, no, don't just put ray tracing on it. I mean, don't you? I mean,
and show me any sub $500 GPU or even more that can even properly do ray tracing on native resolutions without
yeah.
stuttering.
And the nanite
So
thing for sure. Yeah, nanites are cool. Ray tracing is cool, but it's nothing that's going to make your game any better. And it's not necessary to make your game look good. Like, hold on, like just really quickly,
yeah,
ray
he's
tracing.
he's
What's it
also
called?
talking about this.
Cyberpunk.
I th-
Look at that.
oh yeah.
Can you look like back and on and off here? Just look at on and off. Okay, so this is what people keep talking about, like ray tracing. So here's right here. Here's ray tracing off. Here's ray tracing on. I mean, is it that much better? Because you're losing half of your frame rate for it. You know. Here's ray tracing off. Here's ray tracing on. Okay. Like, okay, is it really? Is this really that big of a deal? Like, look at it. It doesn't look that
Well,
much
all I
better. Like,
know, I recently got what is it? Radeon. No, I should really know this. 7600 XT, which is like a medium level card of the now still newest generation of Radeon cards. And even with my previous card, which was an RX 580, which is literally from 2019, I could run Cyberpunk 2077 on 1080p on, I think, medium quality settings with really good frame rates. With the new card, I think I can have it on high quality settings with good frame rates. But as soon as I turn on ray tracing, everything
yeah,
grinds to a halt and it's
yeah.
unusable.
It just so then look at the game that doesn't have ray tracing. This is old Grand Theft Auto 5, which is funny to call it old, but like this game is 12 years old, right? Like this game came out in
But it's the
2012, 2013.
ultimate cash cow with all the online
Well,
transactions they have.
and yeah, for sure, but it is a really, really well made and optimized game. It's like this is why they're waiting a whole extra year to make GTA 6. They're not coming out until next year because they want to make, I mean, because this game has been freeing a cash cow, like you just said, for 12 years. There's infinite new stories that keep coming out for Grand Theft Auto Online. There's a whole mission here where you join the Church of Scientology, but it's called Epsilon, and then you
Well,
you you have to like kill the prophet and you make like billions of dollars. It's an insane game. Like there's a lot, and the next game is gonna be like 500. It has to be like 500 to 1,000 hours of missions, because of how big the game is gonna be. So that has to be the the standard for how a game should be, and there's a reason why nobody wants to compete with that. But this is a perfect example of a well optimized game. And again, it was made and optimized for machines 12 years ago, and nobody's doing that anymore. No one's optimizing games properly. It's just really sad because it can be
that,
done. You can
that's
definitely, games used to be optimized really well like 10, 15 years. Games with the Xbox 360 is a great example, are so much better than the games are right now, you know?
another great argument by that video I showed previously, which everyone who wants to know. The link list is always below the video. Is actually for readability. So how much of the screen do you actually truly focus on, which is of course a very small segment. All the rest is fluff. And even showing an example, because one company that kind of stuck to it up to this day is Nintendo. They have always been looked down upon because, oh, you're releasing a new console or new game, your graphics compared to what is top tier standard now actually look bad. However, that is not the main point. And also there's something to do with aesthetics. And the guys asking the questions, how many games do you remember? And were they actually attempting a photorealistic vision? Or did they have a great style? Even with the example of Elden Ring, which has some graphics but still is about style, or many 2D games, which are merely about style, or what is the fun in it? Maybe a big part of it has to do with actually being able to read the screen, understand what's going on. And it's not necessarily about having, I don't know how many thousands of pixels that are rendered to the highest fidelity, which, as we mentioned, only eat up your resources. And my main gripe, actually, with most games overall, is the lack of interactivity. So someone even said that even in the Morrowind or Oblivion game 20 years ago, you could fish or you could put a fish somewhere. And in the newest game, you can't even do that. So then everything looks really nice. And one other example in the video is you have a super high definition, let's say, tool hanging on a wall or on the floor. It looks really cool, but of course you approach it. And since it's not interactive, you can't do anything with it. It's just a graphic, right? Or the idea that it has so dumbed down, similar to the internet idea, that there is no more joy in exploring because everything that can be interacted with is marked with an outline in an exploration game, for example, and everything else is just a fancy graphic that you can't do anything with. So that's my one gripe, interactivity. And the other thing is, let's say, background logic or emergent behavior. There is one video on YouTube which says, I waited 24 hours in every GTA game. And for example, in GTA 3 even, you have individuals randomly getting into a fight and the police or the emergency services arriving, this or that. And then in GTA 4, for example, nothing happens at all. I think GTA 5 is a bit improved again, but here I'm always wondering, why is there so little emergent behavior, especially in open world games, which is, at least to me, what makes any game interesting if you have emergent behavior and it's not only scripted or only following along and only reacting to what you're doing, because what you want to do in these games, you want to simulate a living world, or you want to have a story generator. One game here I can always recommend is RimWorld, just because it's only 2D, it's quite detailed, has many mods, and is such a game which is based upon story and emotion and all of that. And that doesn't require high fidelity graphics at all. Because also, of course, we have the imagination part, just like why people say, oh, the book is better than the movie. Why? Because you actually imagined the movie by yourself rather than being presented with a ready-made thing which you may or may not enjoy.
Legit. Okay. So then what about Procgen Arcana?
Speaking of which, maybe someday, when I'm not sure what has to align, the stars or something else, I will again play a pen and paper role-playing game, which is the idea of sitting together with your friends, simply having a sheet of paper, if that, which is your character, having a few dice, having a game master that simulates the world and the reality, and having a few protagonists. So I thought I have to add this to the link list for anyone who is interested in that or even just likes to imagine worlds or play around with things. This is based on procedural generation, and it allows you to create maps, here we say for whole realms, cities, villages, and so on, at the click of a mouse, which can be great if you ever either just want to build a world, even if you would, for example, write your own novel and you want to create a world for it. This could also help, and especially for pen and paper role-playing games or even game development or anything else imaginative, you can quickly generate new maps and worlds, which otherwise, of course, takes up a lot of time.
Welcome to Rapland.